How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today we're going to do another 10-minute meal, and it's going to be shrimp scrambled eggs. My theory with cooking at home is it should be the default. You find ways to make very quick meals from fresh ingredients with no preservatives. Not everyone wants to be a chef as a hobbyist. So you want to come in the kitchen with nothing prepped and you walk out in about 10 minutes. So let's get started. This video is brought to you by Moomoo. You can get up to 15 free shares of stock just for signing up and depositing various amounts of money. Get a 5.1% APY interest on your uninvested cash as long as you deposit $500. Remember, the cash portion up to $250,000 is insured by SIPC. Check out my referral link down in the video description below and can help out this channel as well. I have some shrimp in here, Costco brand, Kirkland. It's not the most expensive stuff. It's 31 to 40 shrimps per pound. The bigger they are, of course, the more expensive they are. Value for the money, I think you can go around this range or, you know, 1 or 2 steps lower and it'll still taste pretty similar to me. So today I'm only making 1 serving because I have a lot of leftovers from the weekend. See, lots of dim sum over here. I usually make about 8 shrimp per serving. So we got 10 over here. It's a little bit more, but it's okay. We'll use them all. Throw away the bag. This is about half a pound, and you want to under defrost it and then defrost it the rest of the way with a little bit of water. So auto defrost, 3 is for fish and shrimp level, and then I'll do like 0.3. I'm gonna start the timer over here just so we can have a reference on how long it's taking us. Preheat the pan because that's gonna take a while. I always have this rice that's prepared. See, let's get a little bit out. I'm just gonna flick it dry because any kind of condensation that gets in the bowl makes the rice soggy. So I'm gonna put this back in the fridge. And this is a constant thing. I always have rice sitting around. I'm gonna microwave this next. And we also want some egg to go with the shrimp. So I'm gonna do 1 egg. I like use my finger to get a little bit of the egg white. Oops, I got a little bit of shell in there. So, look, it's a little bit cooked here. That's what you want to avoid, but that's okay. It's just a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit of water here to get it to submerge in the water to defrost it, and then pour out the water. And then you want this as dry as possible because if it's not, it just ends up kind of boiling itself on the pan. Squeeze out the water. There we go. And got olive oil here. For shrimp, you need a moderate amount of oil because the shrimp doesn't have any kind of oils that will come out when you cook it. Check it out. I have a new pan right here and I have a new pan now. I gotta thank you guys because, you know, this is actually a lot healthier. I mean, what was I thinking, right? After I compare the old pan and the new pan, I'm like, whoa, huge difference here. I'll show you my old one too. Look at, here's the old one. Sometimes when you use it, it just starts browning and then you don't really notice because it's, you know, kind of like boiling lobster, right? It only changes slightly every time you use it. I'll have to toss that one later. Here we got the egg. I like to beat it first so that it's more mixed by the time you get into when you put the egg in there next to the shrimp. Now we also need some vegetables. Vegetables is very boring, right? I always just make it the same way. But how about this time? I got some asparagus. Asparagus, it's so easy to make. It's good for you. I'll just make like 4 pieces. The way to buy asparagus is you got to look at the bottom, and if it's like super dry, well, you're gonna have to cut a lot off because it's so stringy, right? You can't bite through it. So you want to look at the bottom and see that it's tender and it's not dry or anything, and then you'll have more to eat. Otherwise, if it's super dry, you know, you can only eat like the top half or something and it's not very good. They don't need very much pesticides, so you don't actually need to wash them all that much. Just kind of rinse it a little bit and that's fine. And you can go like this. Just break off. You want to break off the last bit. If you can break it off, it's good enough to eat. Just like that. Okay, you can eat these. maybe cut them a little bit smaller like that. I like to go diagonal. Okay, so easy, right? 5 minutes in, flip the shrimp. Yeah, we want to grill them a little bit. And you don't want the shrimp to cook all the way. So when you see how it's kind of translucent over here, of course that's not cooked, but it's getting towards to the center of the shrimp and it's almost cooked now. And we gotta be aware that when we put in the egg, it's gonna stay on the pan for a little bit longer too. So you see, I put it in the bowl, and because I have only one egg, I kind of use my finger to scrape it a little bit. Finger spatula. This is totally like a one pan thing. If you mix it, it just turns into like a sludge. So you want some structure to it. So you just leave it cooking on the bottom a little bit. And it looks like the asparagus could use a little bit more cooking than the egg. So this is done, but not the asparagus. Let's cook the rice over here. 69 seconds. It's 8 minutes in. I'm like almost done already. It's so easy. Of course, it's just an egg and like some shrimp, right? You can't even order this at most fast food, right? They're not gonna give you real shrimp. And look at how fast it is. Even if you order like takeout and they deliver it, it'll be like 20 minutes. I just walk in here, literally, look at this. 8 minutes and a half later, I almost have my meal ready. Asparagus is almost done. Flip it a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of water because it looks like it can get steamed a little bit. The water will kind of hydrate it a little bit. Sometimes I like to turn off the heat. There's a lot of residual heat on the pan. Well, here's the rice. We're done. Plate it like this. And whatever juices, sure, let's put the juices back on the shrimp too. There you have it, shrimp, egg, asparagus bowl. Super healthy. I didn't even add any salt because I eat kind of light. One time when I went on an international trip, they asked me, do I want a regular meal or a plain meal, right? I select the plain one because it's always a bit too salty for me. I like to eat things plain. When you compare the food to like the restaurant food outside, it's all very, very salty. That leads to high blood pressure, all kinds of problems. It's not that you don't need salt at all. It's just that you need a lot less salt for most people. So let's give this a try. Here we go. These eggs are actually from my mom's chickens. She no longer owns them these days. Doesn't want to have chickens anymore, but they do give chicken eggs. This is the last batch actually. When you cook the shrimp, don't overcook it. Once you overcook it, it's gonna be like very tough. When it's no longer clear-ish looking, then you can eat it. Let's see if the asparagus is well done enough. A bit al dente, but still acceptable. That's probably the preferred way for me to cook them, because if you cook them for too long, all the vitamins and good stuff gets cooked away. I know this meal looks a little bit small, so expand it to your liking. You can double the size if you need to eat more. If you need it to be a bit more salty, well, add soy sauce, salt. It's so easy, right? I have a bag of frozen shrimp in there. At any given moment, just grab 8 of them out. That's one serving. I find that 8 shrimps is a little bit too low in terms of protein, so I like to add 1 egg for a full meal. Add in some kind of starch, add in some kind of vegetable, and boom, you're done. It's so cheap too. There's 8 servings per container. I believe this is like $20 maybe? So it's probably around $2 worth of shrimp that I used. If you have any requests, put them down in the video description below. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.